There are moments in life that cling to you, even when you try to shake them off. Moments that stretch time, that trap you between what you should have done and what you chose instead. This story is about one of those moments, one that still echoes through me every time I sit alone at night. Before we dive deeper, please press the like button and subscribe. Your support helps this story reach others who may need to hear it. It began so simply. My brother called one warm June afternoon. His son, Michael, was having a rough year. He'd dropped out of college, broken off a relationship, and was drifting. My brother thought a change of scenery might help a summer away, staying with me in my quiet house on the edge of town. Michael was 22. To me, he would always be the lanky boy who tagged along at family gatherings, shy around everyone, speaking more with his silence than his words. But when I opened the door that day, I didn't see the boy I remembered. I saw a man. He was taller, his shoulders broad, his face calm but thoughtful, his smile warm in a way that didn't just greet you, it lingered. His eyes, hazel, flecked with green, looked softer now, like sunlight through autumn leaves. I stood there for a moment too long, surprised at the change, before I stepped aside and let him in. Those first few days felt innocent. Simple. We fell into a rhythm, the way two people do when they share a space. Mornings with coffee at the kitchen table. Afternoons fixing little things around the house. He noticed the crooked gate in the yard and repaired it without being asked. He carried heavy boxes I'd been putting off moving for months. He spoke quietly, with a calm voice that made even the most ordinary conversation feel grounding. But it was in the still moments, those quiet pauses when words weren't needed, that something shifted. One Tuesday afternoon, we were sorting through old books in the study, brushing dust off pages that hadn't been touched in years. I bent to pick one up, and when I looked up, his eyes were already on me. He didn't glance away. He didn't pretend distraction. His gaze was steady, searching, filled with a depth that made the air between us pause. I flushed, my heartbeat quickened, and I laughed nervously, trying to make it casual. But something inside me knew it wasn't. The next morning, I caught him watching again, this time when I teased him for burning the toast. His smile wasn't just playful. It was tender, deliberate, as though the joy wasn't in the joke itself but in sharing it with me. After that, we began orbiting each other differently. Passing in hallways, I felt the warmth of him when his arm brushed mine. When he handed me a glass of water, his fingers lingered a little too long. Little gestures that weren't loud, but they asked silent questions. And slowly, I found myself answering them just by not stepping away. He noticed things about me no one else had ever cared to remember. That I liked my tea a little sweeter than most. That I cracked the window open even when it stormed. That I hummed under my breath when I was cooking. His attention wasn't heavy, it was reverent. Careful. And so, he stopped feeling like a guest. He became something else. Something inevitable. One evening, the sky broke into a storm. Rain lashed against the windows, thunder rolled through the valley, and we sat on the couch pretending to watch a movie neither of us cared about. A folded blanket separated us, but when the power cut and darkness wrapped the room, silence pressed closer. "It seems we'll just have to wait it out," I murmured. "Seems so," he said softly. His voice blended with the rain, a hush that seemed meant only for me. He shifted, not much, but enough that his arm touched mine. He didn't move. Neither did I. My breath caught. "It's strange," he whispered after a long pause. "How quiet moments say everything." I turned to him. His face was so close I could see the faint freckle beneath his jaw, feel the warmth of his breath in the small space between us. "I know what you mean," I whispered back. We didn't kiss. We didn't move further. But the air between us was charged, heavy with everything unspoken. And when the power flickered back on, he didn't pull away. His hand found mine in the blanket's fold, and I didn't let go. After that night, the world looked different. Chores became rituals, excuses to spend more time side by side. Glances lasted longer. Touches lingered. We never said anything out loud. We never crossed a line physically. But emotionally, we had already stepped over it. It wasn't lust. It wasn't confusion. It was something quieter, deeper. A reverence. A bond that grew out of restraint, out of noticing each other in ways no one else ever had. One evening at sunset, we sat on the porch as the sky turned orange and pink. He mentioned that he'd started writing again, something he hadn't done in years. His voice was soft, thoughtful. "You stirred something in me," he added, almost as if he hadn't meant to say it aloud. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Some truths are louder in silence. As the weeks passed, the shadow of goodbye loomed closer. One night, I found him beside me on the balcony, both of us wrapped in the quiet glow of the moonlight. "I'm leaving next week," he said finally, after a long silence. I nodded, pretending it didn't ache, pretending the thought of an empty house didn't suddenly feel unbearable. "I wish," he began, then stopped. "I know," I whispered. "Because sometimes the deepest truths don't need air. They live in the pauses, in the glances that linger too long, in the silences that speak louder than words." On the morning he left, the house felt hollow. His presence lingered in the mug he'd used, in the book he left behind, in the indentation of the couch where he once sat a day. But most of all, he lingered in me. And sometimes, on quiet nights when the moon rises over the trees, I sit on that same balcony, wrap myself in a shawl, and remember. The way he looked at me, not confused, not impulsive, but with clarity. With the kind of gaze that makes you believe, for just one summer, you were truly seen.